Okay, Robert, we have some strong severe thunderstorms that we're tracking with our Storm Ranger 10. This is a mobile Doppler radar, a 60-mile radius beaming out with an X-band radar from the top of our truck here. And I want to talk about some of the storms that we're tracking with this fantastic tool now. They are in Chester County. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for Chester County right now. I'm going to get us in neighborhood level here. Let's zoom in very close here. So East Marlboro, Coatesville, straight down as you work into parts of Newcastle County too in Delaware. But my big concern really is going to be for this line here in parts of Chester County. There's Downingtown, there's Coatesville. Let me zoom on back a little bit farther here to the south. There's Kennett. All of these areas are being impacted by what's called a bow echo cell. What does that mean? Well, you can see, and I'll use my pointing tool here to point it out to you, that there's a bit of a bow to this cell right here on radar. That means the winds are bending the storm cell, giving you winds of 60 to even 70 miles per hour, and that translates down to the surface in what's called straight line winds. Either way, a 70 mile per hour gust is going to cause damage, power outages, and in fact, we actually just had a tornado warning issued in Chester County that just popped up right here. That is a tornado warning, and that also extends into northern Newcastle County. Just getting that right now here into the weather center, our mobile weather center. We're tracking this tornado warning using our Storm Ranger 10 vehicle, but if you are anywhere in southern Chester County, East Marlboro, I want to zoom in closer here, right along Route 1, 202 as we head into Newcastle County, that tornado warning issued for those areas as well. I want to try to get it back into the studio here in just a moment so that we can track this for you using some of our tremendous tools that we have in studio, but Wilmington included within the tornado warning. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer here. And what I'm trying to do is get a query on this to get the latest information for you. Again, this is a tornado warning for southern Chester County, Newcastle County, a small portion of Delaware County as well. I think we can get it back into the studio. Can we get it back into the studio at this point?
Yeah. Hi there, Justin. Robert Johnson here with you. Yes, we can bring it back to the studio, and you're exactly right. We do have a tornado warning that has been issued for our region, and I'm pulling up the information here. You know, we have team coverage here with myself, Justin Godnick, as well as meteorologist Brittney Shipp, and that tornado warning was issued just as you were watching meteorologist Justin Godnick, and this is the latest from the National Weather Service. The tornado warning is in place until 5:30, and what the National Weather Service is saying is that a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Landenberg, or 7 miles north of Newark, Delaware, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So you definitely want to take shelter if you are in this region. A tornado warning that's in place until 5:30, and that's for Chester County, Delaware County, and Newcastle County in Delaware. So I'll take you over to the other monitor. As mentioned, we have meteorologist Brittney Shipp, who is also tracking this too, and we're going to dive into the storm and show you exactly where all of this information is. And we've been noticing this cell creep through portions of Maryland, and it's been spinning a bit as well. So we'll clear the scene and show you as Brittney's tracking this as well. One thing I want to do first is get you right to our velocity sweep scan, because then we're able to see exactly where the twisting and the turning of the winds are. You see it just there near Westchester, and we'll show you where the reds and the greens are really close together. That is an area that we're watching near East Marlboro. And we will also do a track on this system too. So we will widen the view and do a track on this. And just to figure out where the timing of this all is, that way you know where to go in your neighborhood. So this storm is moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So you definitely don't have a ton of time in regard to this warning. So we'll do one track on this here as the storm is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. And here we go. So a couple of towns for you. Media, approximately 5:25. Springfield at approximately 5:30. Upper Darby at approximately 5:34. So you definitely want to be in your safe place at that point. I want to give you some tornado safety tips as well, too. So you want to get to the lowest level of your home. You want to move away from all windows and doors. Shelter in an interior space or room, and definitely evacuate mobile homes if you're inside of one. And Again, do not seek shelter under an overpass. And I know sometimes in these situations, sometimes people want to take photos and they want to jump out there and see what's happening. Not the best idea to do that. The better idea, get to a safe place, get to the place where you know that you're going to be safe and stay away from all of that activity. There are a couple of different versions of radar that we like to show you, especially in regard to tracking a tornado. So we have these severe storms that are moving through Coatesville, moving through Redding, but the main storm, the main cell that we're watching right now is this severe thunderstorm that is just to the north of Wilmington, just to the south of Westchester. And something that we like to track here are wind shear tracks, where we've been seeing indications of the twisting and the turning of the winds. And we've been watching this cell especially closely because as the storm was leaving Maryland and then pushing its way into Pennsylvania, into northern Delaware, we see these little areas of green. We've seen some of the twisting and the turning of the winds already. So this system already has a history of twisting and turning of winds. And now we certainly have a tornado warning that is in place. We have a chat with the National Weather Service as well, keeping us updated on all this information. And I'll be monitoring this to see if we have any more information coming in from them. Obviously, Fred Shropshire, Jacqueline London, they're here as well, and they'll soon be providing us with updates on what is best to do. If you are in this tornado warning, that's the red box. Fred and Jackie, what should we do if we're in this area?
Yeah, Robert, you mentioned this.
Yes, Robert.
And Fred and Jackie, still with us here. We'll send it over to you.
There goes my mic. Yeah, you mentioned this earlier, but we can not say it enough. If you're at home, you need to head to your basement and stay away from higher levels of your house. If you don't have a basement, you have to take shelter in a small inside room, preferably in the center of your room, a closet perhaps even.
Always in those interior rooms are essential. Get to the lowest floor of your home. Move away from those windows and doors because we know that glass can break and become very dangerous if you are in the way of them. Shelter, as we said, in an interior space or an interior room. Often a bathroom is a good place to go and a safe place to go as long as you don't have any windows in that bathroom. And staying in a bathtub is one of the most protective areas you can be in. If you're in a mobile home, you should evacuate those and go to a safe location. But do not seek shelter under an overpass if you are driving.
First Alert meteorologist Brittney Shipp standing by with more for us right now.
Yeah, we just want to recap the situation that we're in, and that is we have a tornado warning. It is crossing a few counties here for Chester, Delaware, and Newcastle. This is going to stay in effect for another 20 minutes. We're going to just try to continue to walk you through this. We have now turned on our timestamp here, 5:09 right now. This tornado warning is in effect until 5:30. So let's take a closer look. One of the things Robert was mentioning, a tool that we use is velocity mode. And what we're basically looking for is a couplet, potentially right here closer to Thornbury. You can see right about near 926. We also know this is all tracking to the east-northeast, right around 40 miles per hour. This means this is a cell that's moving quickly, so you don't have a lot of time. You definitely want to make sure if you're in any of the cities that are in this red box here, and you're just to the northeast, so Willistown, if you live closer to Glen Mills, if you're near Concord, if you know anyone that drives near 352, 3 here, we get down to street level, so even South Creek Road, this potentially could be some rotating winds. So again, we're watching for a couplet when we check this out. Now we have another tool that we use and we call it the correlation coefficient. And what that basically does is it helps us identify if there's any flying debris happening throughout the area. So what we're trying to see is just some bright colors here that would maybe give us a heads up that potentially we're seeing flying debris. A third tool that we use is our hail tracker. So you can already see there's a little bit of hail right here, and we definitely saw a thunderstorm cell that was capable of producing strong wind speeds and also dropping hail. So what we're watching now for you is just this tornado warning, which will stay in effect until 5:30. And what you need to do is make sure you already have your action plan ready to go. We are going to send it back over to First Alert meteorologist Robert Johnson. He's going to take a closer look at where the cell is right now and call off a few more neighborhoods so everyone can make sure that they're prepared. One of the things you can do is you turn up the volume on your TV if you're heading down to your basement, so we can still kind of guide you through exactly where this is tracking. But again, we have at least another 20 minutes to go until this particular tornado warning has expired. Robert.
That's exactly right, Brittany, and we'll go back to our live radar shot here. So this area that you see in red, that's the tornado warning. What we're going to do is zoom it out just a little bit to give you a better indication of where the tornado warning is. So the tornado warning is in place for Chester County, portions of Delaware County, into the northernmost portion of Newcastle County in Delaware. And this is what the National Weather Service is telling us right now. So currently the time is 5:12. We have a tornado warning in place until 5:30. And as mentioned, it's for Chester County, Delaware County, Newcastle County. Hail is possible along with a tornado. So you want to get to your safe place immediately. A few towns to name off, areas just to the south of Westchester, North Star, Wilmington is also in this tornado warning. West Grove is in the tornado warning too. And that's where we're seeing some areas of rotation occur within this tornado warning. We'll take you back to the velocity scan and show you where we're seeing some areas of rotation, and we are seeing some of the reds and greens close together, a little closer to Westchester. And sometimes with a tornado warning, we can notice some areas of straight line winds, especially if the rotation doesn't last very long. So either way, you'll definitely want to get to your safe place very quickly. Something we can do in our radar is check out different radar sites. The Philadelphia radar, the one in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and another one closer to Delaware, where sometimes it can be a little bit easier to see the various radars that are nearby. And we're still noticing some areas of red and green close together, and this is all tracking to the northeast. Something I want to do is show you the latest and now we see another warning popping up here, a severe thunderstorm warning. This is brand new. You see it pop up just as we're speaking about it. That goes through Philadelphia into even more of Delaware County, extending itself into Montgomery County. That includes Abington. That includes King of Prussia. So the Willow Grove Mall, a part of this too, as these severe storms continue to slide to the east and northeast. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. And typically when we get a severe thunderstorm warning, the wind speeds go up to 60 miles per hour, but this one going up to 70 miles per hour. And that's because the straight line wind threat, which as we've been telling you is the main threat today, is continuing. So we've seen some really strong wind gusts with these storms, and now they're going to continue to slide into Delco, into Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, into lower portions of Montgomery County too. So here's something we're going to do now. We're going to widen the view and show you these storms and pull out some neighborhoods so that way you know when these storms are coming in your neighborhood. And you know, you don't have a lot of time because these storms are sliding to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So even though I know tornadoes get a lot of the headlines, still we want to make sure that you know about these storms as a whole. So whether you're in the tornado warning or the severe thunderstorm warning, you still don't want to be outside anyway. So for Upper Darby, 526, that's when these storms are approaching your neighborhood, whether they are straight line winds or rotating winds. Either way, you just want to be inside and be in your safe place because these are ferocious storms. For Philadelphia, this is pulling for Center City, Philadelphia, 532, Cherry Hill at approximately 539 if it were to hold together and move in that direction. Abington at approximately 541. And of course, today is Juneteenth. A lot of people are off. A lot of people are not in school. I used to work at the Willow Grove Park Mall, so a lot of people are at the mall right now and shopping around. And you definitely want to make sure that you get to your safe place, get inside. And whether you are in the severe thunderstorm warning or the tornado warning, we want to make sure that you know exactly what to do. Fred and Jackie, I'll hand it back over to you for a moment, and we'll keep on tracking these storms. Please remind people what they should do in this situation.
All right, so we've been told that we have Lily Zhang, who is standing by in Chester County with more on the conditions where she is. Lily, what are you seeing out there right now?
No, I lost programming.
We lost program. Turn off your IFB key.
Lily apparently can't see us, but can't hear us right now. But look at this picture. This is our live truck that is driving along, and you can see just how heavily that rain is coming down and people driving slowly. As we've been telling people, if you happen to be on the road, reduce your speed, drive cautiously. Right now, let's try to go to Lily Zhang, who is in one of our NBC10 vehicles. Lily, can you hear us now?
Hey there, yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah, so we are on Route 100 in Westchester. I can tell you that just in the past few minutes we've been here, the wind has definitely picked up quite a bit. As you can see, a pretty decent amount of rain that we're getting right now. We haven't seen that many cars, with the exception of right now. We just now are hitting a little bit of traffic, but as you guys mentioned, with it being Juneteenth, the holiday, I haven't seen that many cars out as far as this afternoon. So that is a good news. Certainly, if you guys have to be out today, drive very carefully, listen to our meteorologists, listen to these alerts as we're giving them to you guys, and really just pay attention on the roads, slow down, and just take your time on these roads. I have seen some lightning as well while we've been out here, so we are certainly also just taking our time getting to where we need to be. So again, right now you're taking a live look at Route 100 in Westchester. Rain starting to come down pretty hard right now.
Lily, thank you again. Lily, driving along, encountering the rain again, as we've been telling you, a tornado warning in Chester County until 5:30. Also a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Philadelphia now, and that goes until 6 p.m.
NBC10's first alert meteorologist Brittney Shipp is standing by now with more. Brittney?
Yeah, and it looks like potentially the tornado warning was just dropped at this time. So it was dropped a little early here. We're now just in a severe thunderstorm warning, but these are still very strong storms that are moving through parts of Westchester at this time, down towards Concord, out towards Willistown. We still want to widen out the picture. We'll switch you into velocity mode. We are looking for a red and green couplet. However, and Robert, I know you're looking at the National Weather Service chat. Can you confirm that they indeed did cancel this tornado warning? It doesn't look like it's now popping up on our screen anymore. So at this time, our biggest concern remains a severe thunderstorm warning here that is affecting Philadelphia. That's going to stay in effect here for at least another 30 minutes or so. So we will have to watch that for you. Let's query this so we can see how long the severe thunderstorm warning will stay into effect. Looks like it's going to stay until 6 p.m. This is affecting Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, and Philadelphia. We could still be dealing with wind gusts upwards of 70 miles per hour, hail size 1 inch in diameter. But again, at this time, it looks like the tornado warning was allowed to expire. We've also been looking at some of your intense rainfall amounts. So anytime we start to get these intense severe thunderstorms, the potential is going to be there for flooding as well. Looks like 1.2 inches of rain has now come down in just a very short amount of time. And look at this cluster of thunderstorms. Look at all of these lightning strikes. This is a very powerful system that is going to continue to track to the east at 40 miles per hour. This is moving quickly. It's going to be over the Philadelphia region here within the next 10 to 15 minutes here. And we can also put a tracker on this just to show you where some of the neighborhoods are going to be dealing with this particular system. It is going to take a little while for that to make it into the Philadelphia region, but again, tracking to the east at about 40 miles per hour. We now want to check in with First Alert meteorologist Robert Johnson for more. Robert?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Brittany. The National Weather Service has allowed that tornado warning to be canceled. They've canceled it early. It was supposed to go until 5:30. Here we are at 5:20, and we no longer have a tornado warning. And I'm sure we'll get back to regular news programming very soon, but it's really important to know that even though we no longer have a tornado warning, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning getting ready to hit the heart of our viewing area, making its way through Delco, through Chester, and very quickly moving to the east and northeast at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on that because it's going to hit Philadelphia very hard and sliding into Lower Bucks County, impacting a lot of people who may not be aware, especially on a day where they are off for many people. So let's put another track on this before we get you back to your regular news programming. So as this continues to slide to the northeast, you want to be aware of this. For Center City, Philadelphia, 532, Deptford, 535, Cherry Hill, 538. If it makes it that far. For Abington, 542. And then for Bensalem, if it continues to track at this speed, it will be in Bensalem at approximately 551 in lower Bucks County. So even though the tornado warning has been allowed to expire, and that often gets a lot of the headlines, severe thunderstorm warnings can do just as much damage. And these are winds that are pushing in one direction at about 70 miles per hour at max, also providing some small to, at times, some large hail. We will continue to track these storms, and of course, if there is another brief spin up of an isolated tornado, we will certainly let you know. NBC 10 News will continue in just a bit.